Ancient technologies, the different types of technology, right? It's important to understand, what low tech, high tech, and advanced technology is, right? So that way, when you see something, in life or in history, you can be like, oh, that's low tech. Oh, that's high tech. Oh, that's advanced. Very important because something I see a lot. It's been going on for a long time. Is people complaining what's advanced technology or high technology versus you know primitive tools or primitive techniques or something like that, right? Always complaining. So there's a debate going on. Did ancient humans have technology? Well, that shouldn't be a debate because clearly they did. Whether is it high or advanced is that's where it differs, right? It's like, well, it depends. What you know, what level of technology we were talking about. If we're saying they have advanced technology, is it possible? Yes. Do we have proof of it? Well, technically, we do, but not enough to be, to say definitely that advanced technology, right? Because it depends on what we define as advanced, right? So it'd be important to know if the advanced technology we're referring to is like nuclear. Like if we consider nuclear technology, right, as advanced technology, then it's like, okay, what proof do we have? What things can we, the hints at the idea that ancient humans had nuclear power as technology, right? What did they have? So we gotta find things that, evidence, as they say, right, of advanced technology, that aka nuclear technology, right? But if we don't find evidence of that, then it just becomes a possibility that they had it, but it's not an absolute they had it because we don't have the proof, right? Since we don't have the proof, it's just more of an assumption, a possibility, but not a definite, right? So then you have to consider, okay, so then maybe they had high technology. That means they didn't have nuclear technology, for example, right? But they had machines, right? And these machines moved on their own, or at least they moved under power that didn't include a human being, right? Like a bike is a machine, but it's human powered, right? There is mechanical advantage on the bike, right? The whole gear, sprocket system. Fair enough. There's mechanical advantage there. So that's the mechanical part. Right? There's mechanical advantage, right? Because of the gear ratios. But in order for it to function and move in the first place, just to move, you are required. You, the human, is required, right? But a windmill, right, just needs the wind. Doesn't need you to do anything. Doesn't need your blow at the windmill for it to function. It'll just function because the wind is blowing, right? It's just like a water wheel will function because water is flowing and moving the wheel, right? And you can say stuff like gravity, right? Gravity, something is falling down, right? Because of gravity, you could take advantage of that and make a machine that uses that, right? It can be powered by gravity, and vibrations, and the list goes on. And then of course, electronics, right? Electricity. We use electricity. That's what we consider high technology. Is electricity. Some people are confused and be like, "Oh, that's advanced." No, that's high technology. Or we just simplify and just say that's technology or modern day technology. But it's not advanced. Advanced would be like next level. A way I like to look at advanced is that it's something that God can do. I'll put it that in that context. It's what God can do, right? So if we find ways to manipulate gravity, that's advanced technology. Because God can manipulate gravity, right? If we can use nuclear power, that's advanced technology. Because the sun is nuclear powered, right? That's something God created, right? Something God can do if you're, religious, right? So with that type of mindset of like, that's what advanced technology is. It's things of the major physics in the universe, right? Like nuclear, gravity, super electromagnetism, right, of the universe, right? What is it called? Chemical bonds. If you're able to manipulate chemical bonds and make it where you can literally separate hydrogen from oxygen with ease, literally be able to separate the atoms, that would be advanced technology. Not high technology, advanced. Because you're on some next level shit. And then if you could warp reality, warp space time, blah, blah, that's advanced, right? So that's some big things. So that makes sense that we label it as advanced. Some people will call it magic, right? But high technology, okay, that's simple stuff, right? That'd be electronics, which is what we're used to. That'd be machines that are powered by air compressors or water hydraulics, right? Hydraulics is just fluid through a pipe or through a system, and it causes it to function, right? So fluid mechanics, right? That'd be high tech. Robots using electronics for remote control, right? Even though radio frequencies, it's definitely in the realms of advance. So being able to use vibrations, right? Sound, right? To make things happen, that would be in the realm of advance. So did ancient humans use sound as their power source for technology? Then yes, they had advanced technology if that was the case. Could they manipulate gravity? If we find proof of that, then yes, they had advanced technology. And the list goes on, right? You get the idea of what advanced, what high tech is. What's low tech? Well, a hammer. Hammer is low tech, right? It needs you in order for it to function, for it to have power, because you got to swing the hammer, right? But since it's a hammer and it's not your bare hands, that's why it's low tech. And a lot of people like to think that something like that is like, well, that's primitive tools. It's like, yeah, you'll call it primitive tools, but tools in itself inherently is technology. It's inherently above primitive. Primitive would be your bare hands, right? People joke about sticks and stones. Like, I would agree, sticks and stones, stuff you could just pick off the ground, off of a tree, out of the water, right? Pick up dirt, right? That would be primitive. And if you can use that to do stuff, cool, that's primitive. But if you take a rock and a stick, right, and put it together and combine it and make a hammer, then it's low tech. So it's technology. It's not just primitive. Right? It's not a primitive thing, right? I consider anything that is as simple as basic as a rock, and you use your hand as the lever or the handle, that would be primitive. But if you literally put a handle on a rock and then swing it, so then it becomes low tech. So it's low technology, not that it's primitive or hand powered per se. All right. Or simple, I should say. It's not simple. There's a little bit of extra skill involved, right? You got to know how to build a hammer, but you don't need to know how to build a rock. That's what I'm trying to say. So something primitive would be literally just a rock, a stick, something that just exists and you just used it. But when you make a hammer, you're creating something that doesn't just naturally exist, which is a stick attached to a rock, and you swing it to hammer, right? That is low tech. That's different from primitive. Primitive would just be a rock or just a stick, right? For example, sandpaper would be more high tech than you just grabbing sand, putting it on something, and then rubbing it with a rock or with your bare hand or a piece of wood, or something, or copper or whatever, something to help you move and rub the sand and polish or sandpaper or grind something, right? But if you make sandpaper, that's more that's technology, right? That's more that gets into the realm of becoming low tech at first, and then if you combine it with a grinder or power sander, right, a power tool, then it becomes high tech. Advanced would be if you know earth bending, right? And you're able to use the force and make the sand move, and or use sound. You play a flute and suddenly the sand starts swirling and starts sanding and grinding things. Then that would be advanced. But right. So the thing is, it'd be interesting to figure out, is that possible? Can we prove it? Can we prove that they had advanced, as in they use sound and and magnetism, right? In a different way than us, right? Gravity, nuclear power, and the list goes on and on. So far, I've seen some stuff that do hint at the idea that they did have access to some of that type of stuff. That there was possibilities that they had access to, nuclear technology. Sometimes you see stones. I mean, ironically, this image right here in this video in the background, that kind of looks like it's melted, like the rock's melted. Kind of looks, but it's more likely just quarried, so it looks like a whole bunch of the rocks was scooped. But what if it was melted, right? What if there was a nuclear blast that caused this place to look like that? What if it used to be smoother, better, much more refined, more, advanced, right, in appearance? But then, nuke, or the sun just got extra hot one day and, hit the rocks and, melted them. Anything's possible, right? But that's the thing. It's like, did they have it? So if they had this stuff, and it's a possibility they had the technology, then it's possible that, well, one, humans exist on this planet a lot longer than we like to think, as well as they had more time, and they were very, very interested in understanding life, way more than how most people nowadays are. Because most people nowadays are more concerned about getting a whole bunch of likes and views on TikTok, that they're not building anything, they're not discovering anything, they're not learning anything on their own. The amount of people I see commenting, I learned more from TikTok than from high school or from school. And it's like, school was supposed to teach you the basics, not teach you everything about the universe, about existence. Because even as a collective, as a species, we don't know everything about the universe. So how can you go to school and learn everything? You think 12 years of school, you're gonna know everything there is to know? Hell no. Plus, that also implies that you're on God's level, right? If you're religious, right? You're on God's level, that 12 years of school is enough for you to know everything he knows, or she knows, or what God knows. You're not. Common sense. School is to teach you the basics. Teach you ABCs, 1, 2, 3. Right? Teach you the English language, or whatever language from where you're from. That's it. That's the most basic thing it's supposed to teach you. Basics. After that, it's up to you to decide if you want to, be a scientist or a doctor or a president or a cop or whatever. You're supposed to learn all that extra shit on your own. That's why you have a brain, so you can figure shit out on your own. The fact that most people out here are like, nah, I need a TikTok video to teach me how to think. What? No. You're supposed to already know how to think. You're supposed to be thinking every day. And it's supposed to be intellectual shit. Like thinking how to make your life better. I literally made a page on my website called Free Living Project. So it's my free living project idea. And it's the idea of, here's information, here's products you can buy on Amazon, right? Here's videos, tutorials, right? Showing y'all how to make your own electricity, or how to reduce your electric bill, that kind of stuff. But mainly it's like, here's different ways of creating electricity, different ways we have technology-wise or information-wise on electricity, if you really need electricity, right? Which can definitely reduce your electric bill if you're creating your own electricity instead of paying for it, right? I mean, technically you're paying, because if you buy the solar power bank that I like to promote, because I use them myself, I have my phone charging right now on one of them. And there we go. So, that's free electricity. Right? People love the word free. That's why I call it free living, because people love the word free. So it's like free living. Here's ways you can have electricity if you really need it, right? For your smartphone, laptop, or home electronics, right? Lighting system. But then there's water, right? I mean, water is everywhere. I mean everywhere where there's water, right? Water is in the lakes, in the oceans, right? The rivers. When it rains, bang, water. Like I literally have a whole bunch of gallons, um, big empty water bottle. I mean, big empty bottles that I fill with rainwater. So I got a small little collection of rainwater, just because I can, right? It was free to collect this, so why not, right? I collected it through the windows of my place, and bang, free water. And all I have to do is filter it. So of course I bought some stuff to filter out the water and stuff like that, and bang, filter it out, and can use it to do whatever I want, right? Including drinking it if need be. You know, just like water filters, just for the water that comes out the faucets, so that way I have nice, filtered, clean, non-contaminated water. And that's the thing; it's important to learn how to find water, how to clean it, right? How to filter it, so that way you can drink it. Because we're humans, we need water, and you might want to learn that skill, right? Ancient humans did. Ancient humans figured out how to clean water, how to find clean water, right? They figured out how to make fire. Then they used the fire to boil the water, to make it cleaner, better, or at least make it nice and warm, so that way they can use it for a nice warm bath or something of that nature. That's another thing, right? They definitely recycled their bath water. That's something we don't do in modern day times. Is recycle bath water. It'd be nice if we did, right? And there are things you can buy, devices on Amazon you can buy where you can literally, take a shower through a little portable shower system, right? And it can recycle the water, right? And filter and all that good stuff, so that you can use it over again. Like I said, I could literally use rainwater just to take a shower, as an example, or wash dishes and stuff. As long as I collect the water afterwards, right? And then recycle it, bang. Infinite water hack, as they call it. So that's why I call it free living. But ancient humans used to do this. So there's no like, oh, I need to buy water all the time, or I need to buy electricity all the time, or I need to buy food all the time. They learned farming. They learned how to grow shit. They're like, oh, here's some fruits and vegetables I can eat, right? They figured out what's edible. Then they grabbed the seeds and figured out that, oh, I could put the seeds in the ground and grow more. So they did that. They literally used to carry seeds. They used to use seeds like money. Like they'll trade it. Like, oh, here's some apple seeds for orange seeds, right? And they used to trade it. Or like, hey, I like that hat you made. I'll give you some, pumpkin seeds for the hat, right? The barter system. So because, pumpkin's useful, because, you can eat it, right? Think about it. All we really do with money is use it to buy food, water, electricity, right? It's like, since we use money for those things, it just makes sense. Why not just get those things? If you need electricity, if you need to charge your phone all the time, why not get a solar power bank? Why not get a hand crank power bank? I mean, since I'm talking about it, I might as well go to the site and have it. And show you my free living. Might as well do a little quick promotion of it that we can see. Gotta change the location, but right, free electricity, free water, free food, heating and cooling, and shelter, right? Still working on the page, but as you can see, solar power, you need light, right? Lamps come in handy, solar powered lamps, you can get electricity through water generators, wind power generators, right? Hand crank induction generators, like induction electric generators. All it is just spinning a magnet near copper wires, right? And boom, you'll create electricity, right? Simple electric generator concept. So you can get a hand crank, which I have there, right? You can get a hand crank generator, which literally is just has a handle and you crank it, right? You spin it and you'll produce electricity. And they have capacitors, right, which can store the electricity, aka batteries, right? So these are hand cranked or wind up batteries essentially. And there's, as you can see here, I got this one specifically. It's a radio, a flashlight, a power bank. It has a solar panel so it can charge through solar. Of course, it has USB ports and stuff, so you can charge your phone, which is something I do with it. Like I said, it has a radio feature and it has the handle for hand cranking, so you can charge it just by cranking it, right? So you can create your own electricity. But then there's videos, say, oh, use this speaker and bounce the center of the speaker, and I can light up some LEDs. And then, earth batteries, being able to understand how certain metals react, especially in the dirt, and how you can create electricity from earth itself. So you can create electricity just from dirt. So there's that, right? Knowledge of power, right? Ways to collect water, ways to find water, ways to filter it, how to filter salt water or seawater, how to filter, drinking water in general or rainwater, the natural way or through technology. And like I said, we already figured out a lot of stuff. We already have things now that makes life easier. And people in the past figured out, how to do things the hard way. That's why I love those like DIY videos or those, life hack videos, right? Where it's like, oh, do this, do that. It's like, man, that makes life so much easier when you understand something. And ancient humans understood stuff. So hopefully you understand the difference between high tech, low tech, and advanced, right? Because the number of times people talk about, oh my God, they have primitive tools, implying that a hammer is so primitive it can't do anything amazing. It's like, no, a hammer is very amazing, especially if there's different types of hammer. If you have Thor's hammer, well, there's a lot you could do with Thor's hammer, right? You could summon lightning, right? That's pretty badass. You could throw it and it'll come right back to you. How is that not technology, right? How is that not nearly pretty advanced? Being able to that Thor's hammer definitely is advanced technology, right? Sorry, because it summons lightning, right? The whole gravity thing where you can't lift it, and then the whole you throw it and it can come back to you, right? And technically you talk to it and it understands you, so it's kind of sentient. So that's very advanced. That's not high tech. No, that's advanced technology right there. But anyway, I mean, we as humans are advanced technology. This is the thing I always like to point out, is that humans in the past had one of the most advanced piece of technology a human can have, right? You might be like, oh, a smartphone, nukes, blah, 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 right? Airplanes, spaceships, right? Lasers. But realistically, the most advanced piece of technology you can have as a human being that exists in the past and exists now is your brain. The human brain is an advanced piece of technology. So to say, did ancient humans have advanced technology? My answer to that is always yes, if we count the brain. If we don't count the brain, then, well, maybe they did, right? But if we do count the brain, and I know I do count the human brain as advanced technology, then it's like, of course they did. Of course they had advanced technology, their brains, which is why they're able to create pyramids and all this other great, amazing shit that we, yes, can do now. I always hate people trying to say, oh, we can't do that. We can't reproduce it. We can't do the same thing they did. Like, yes, we can. And we could do it better. What the hell are you talking about? They have the same tools we have. The brain, the most advanced piece of technology a human can have is the brain, right? Can we make some... Think about it. The fact that we're making artificial intelligence proves that, yes, the brain is amazing, because we're literally trying to create a artificial version, a man-made version of the human brain, we're so amazed by the human brain. Yeah, because the brain is this advanced technology, and we're literally creating AI, which a lot of people will say, oh, that's some advanced technology. Oh, really? AI is advanced technology, but it's trying to mimic our brains. So wouldn't our brains be advanced technology? I think so. And that's the end of the video.